Cool. So today I thought we'd do kind of like quite a lower back focused session with like breath work, but mainly focusing on like twists and opening, loosening the lower back and releasing any tension from that area. So we'll start with a little bit of breath work before we get moving, and if you want to just find yourself in a comfortable seated position, however feels good, we'll be here for a few minutes, so just make sure you're comfortable. Rolling the shoulders up, back and down, and then resting the hands open on your lap. And we'll start with some Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath is where we keep our mouth closed, we just breathe through our nose. As we exhale, we partially squeeze the throat closed to create a whispering sound at the back of the throat. So it will sound something like this. And the idea is we're constricting the exhalation to make it longer. So keep going with that breath. And as you're using this breath, I'll just tell you a few more benefits of Ujjayi breath, as well as making the exhalations slower and longer. It gives you something to focus on. And the sound has been described like oceanic waves, so it's like waves crashing onto a shore. So the sound of the breath can kind of become a mantra. It can become this repeated sound that we can focus our attention on and let everything else drift away. And in yoga, we really focus on the importance of the exhalation. And this is because the exhalation is what people struggle with elongating the most. We're usually okay with deep breaths in, but long, elongated breaths out, people seem to struggle with a bit more. And I don't exactly know why this is, but there are some theories that say that the inhalation, it's the first breath we'll ever take, so it represents life. Whereas the exhalation is the last breath we'll ever take, so the exhalation represents death. And in order to live a balanced life, we need to have both the yin and the yang. So we must live life, but we can't ignore death. And so I think that's why trying to make your exhalations as balanced as your inhalations is really important. We'll take one last breath here in stillness. And then we'll gently blink open the eyes. Inhale, lift the arms up above the head, and we'll start with a gentle twist. So exhale, turning to one side, opposite hand comes to the outside of the leg. You're using that leverage of the hand to look behind you. Inhale, rise. Exhale, second side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, side stretch. So leaning over to one side, coming down as low as you wish. Inhale, lift, and to the other side. Inhale, rise, hands onto the lap, and then inhale, draw the chest forwards, look up. Exhale, round. And again, inhale, arch. Exhaling, rounding. Come back to a neutral spine, and we'll roll forwards onto hands and knees if you can, and we'll just do a little bit of cat-cow on the all fours as well. Inhale, belly down, looking up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, stomach drops. Exhale, round. Last one, stomach drops. And round. Come back to a neutral spine, walk the hands back, tuck the toes, just find yourself in a nice little crouching ball and just rock backwards and forwards a few times, slowly bringing the weight back into the feet. And then we'll take a nice forward fold, so softening the knees down, and then just let your body hang, so let the head and neck go, and just hang here for a good few breaths. And don't worry about your hamstrings. We're not really focusing too much on the legs today. We really want to target everything to the lower back. So as you breathe in, visualize the breath flooding the muscles in your lower back and allow them to just soften and open, and space come in between the vertebral discs. Really important. And we'll move this into a gentle twist. So left hand on the floor, right leg straightens, and take the right arm up. Find your twist. Exhale, circle the hand down. We'll go to the second side. So bending the right leg, left leg straightens, left arm comes up. Find your twist. And then soften both knees, interlock the hands behind the sacrum, and just rest your torso on your thighs and let the hands drop away in this interlocked position. Hanging here for a few moments. Great, then dropping the hands, softening the knees and rolling all the way up, stacking all the vertebrae, one on top of the other, nice and slow, until we find ourselves in standing. Then roll the shoulders a couple of times. As the shoulders come down, bend into the knees. Then on the next one, big circle with the arms, a couple of times as well. And 3. Great. And then step the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Just let the arms be loose and swing from side to side. And just let the arms hit across the body and look behind you as much as you can. Slowly bring these sways to stillness. Inhale. Lift your arms up, hold on to opposite forearm or wrist with the hand, and then lean yourself over to the side. Nice deep side stretch. Inhale, rising. Switch hands, exhale. Inhale, rise, interlock the hands behind the head, keep the pelvis tucked under, and then open the chest up to the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands. Take your thumbs and place them on your lower back and just give your the muscles of your lower back massage. So taking the thumbs around in circles, finding all the spots of tension, feeling your thumb move over the muscle, over the bones of the pelvis, and bring it up slightly towards the waist. Great, and then release the hands, just shake them out a moment. And we'll go for a standing twist. So weight in one leg, lift the other knee, squeeze the knee in towards the torso, wrap the opposite hand around and extend the same arm as the knee that is bending back behind you. Staying really stable through that standing leg. Look back forwards, hug the knee in, drop it down, we'll go to the second side. So first find that squeeze, pull it in, wrapping the opposite arm and extending the same side arm behind you, maybe looking back towards it if the balance is feeling good today. Great, back to center, knee hugs in, knee floats down, and we'll go into a chair here. So knees, feet, are hip width apart. So soften the knees, brush the fingertips along the floor, and then rise up. Now notice with my back, I'm really not arching, I'm pulling the pelvis under, and this is going to strengthen the lower back and work it by working the core. Arms can be apart or together. If they're together, just make sure the shoulders are pressing down. And we'll stay here for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, and 5. Straighten up, circle the arms down, and just take one knee round in nice big circles. Step it down, take the other knee round. Going to go into the chair again, and then we're going to take a twist from the chair. So brush the fingertips, find your chair. Sinking into the heels rather than the balls of the feet. And then taking the opposite hand to the outside of the leg. Other arm goes behind, look towards it. Great, back to center. Sinking down, and opposite side. Back to center, sink down, and then fold over the legs. And you can kind of bend one knee at a time to loosen out the hamstrings a little bit, walk the knees, and then soften the knees, roll up. And we'll go into one last twisting chair. So find your feet parallel, inhale, find your chair. This time we'll just walk the knees so they're together in your chair. Hands at heart center, and then twist to take the opposite elbow on the outside of the knees whilst we're still in chair. Fab. Look up over that shoulder. Back through center. And second side. Turn around so you can see. Back through center. Sink a little deeper. And then straighten the legs. Circle the arms down. And again, we'll take the knees in a couple of big circles. And other side. Great. From here, step your right foot back into a lunge. You can place your hands on your hips. We're going to go into a twist from here. Take your right hand, place it down on the floor, left arm up. So we're in a lunging twist. Great. Look up towards that top hand and feel this in your midsection. Really feel it through the lower back. Now, keeping the feet where they are, I'm going to turn to the side. You're going to lift up with the upper body, taking the arms forwards and back, and we're still in a twist. Great. Exhale, take that right hand down once again. Look towards your front foot, step the right hand in and roll yourself up. And just find a moment in mountain pose. Lift all your toes, spread them wide, and then press them back down. Have a moment in stillness before we go on to the other side. So second side, this time we shoot the left foot back, and we start with this lunging twist. Left hand down, right arm up. I'll turn you this way. So we're here. And then keeping the feet where they are, rising up with the upper body. So we're twisting with the arms and the torso. Great, come back down into your twist. Look towards your front foot, step the back foot towards it, and then roll up the spine all the way. Before we go into the next twist, we'll do a little back bend. So either taking hands into reverse prayer behind the back or holding onto the elbows, whichever feels most comfortable. If you can't take the reverse prayer, the elbows does the same thing. And then really use this pressure to pull your shoulders back and your elbows slightly back as well. And you're going to keep your tailbones scooping under, keep your lower abdomen engaged, and just lift the chest up to the ceiling. Great, return to center, release the hands. Take the left hand, just rest on the leg, and then take the right arm up into a side bend, then also slightly open the chest so it becomes a side, also a bit of a back bend as well. Back up through center, second side. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches over, and then also kind of back diagonally. Great. And back through center, roll the shoulders up, back and down. We're going to go into a deeper lunging twist. So starting by stepping the right foot back into this lunge, we're going to take our hands at heart center, lean forwards and twist to take the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Maybe look up over that shoulder. Maybe take the arms out into a nice broad wingspan. So one hand comes onto the floor on the outside of the foot and the other arm reaches up. Fab. Great. Circle the top hand down to frame the front foot, and we're going to step back into a plank. Hold the plank for a moment, and we'll step the right foot forwards. You can help it forwards with your hand if you need to. And we'll start just by coming up into a lunge, hands at heart center, lean forwards, and take your first twist. Really feel this in your hips, in your back, in your midsection. Maybe looking up. And then maybe opening the arms into a nice broad wingspan. Circling the hand down, look towards your front foot, step the back foot forwards, and then roll up the spine. We're going to do two more things in standing before we come into seated. We'll do some hip circles. So soften the knees, and you just want to take your hands onto your hips. We'll start by tucking the pelvis under, so you have that thrusting action. Then lean the hips to one side, and let your legs sort themselves out. Let your legs move. Then arch the back, and then hips to the other side. Forwards to the side, back to the side. Feel this loose in your lower back. Side, back to the side, and then just join all the bits together. So we circle the hips. Nice. And then we'll go the other way. So starting slow, back, side, forwards, side, back, side, forwards, and circle. And really feel lower core connection, particularly as you tuck the pelvis up. Nice. Release, shake out the legs. And the last little thing we'll do in standing is to come to a wide squat, so toes pointing out to each side, and my feet are also pointing out as well. And then we're going to sink down and place the hands onto the legs. You're going to dip one shoulder into the middle, look over the opposite shoulder, back to center, and dip to the other side. Back to center and dip. Back to center and dip. Great, straighten the legs, turn the toes forwards. We'll do a little hangover our legs. They don't have to be too wide. Just let the head and neck go. You can even take a little sway from side to side here as well, opening into the hips and the hamstrings. Great, and then we'll turn the toes out, hips down, find your yogic squat pose. So elbows pushing into knees, hair is everywhere, and opening the heart center. And we'll take a little sway in this one. And now we can actually take this into a twist for our back. So to do this, take one hand and just reach it diagonally down and out, and take the other arm up and look up towards it. Try and keep your weight still balanced in your feet, so we're not leaning in the lower body. Back to center. Second side. Back to center. And then extend the arms forward. See if we can tuck the tailbone and gently sit the pelvis down. We're going to take the feet into a wide diamond shape. So soles of the feet are together, but they are kind of away from you. Hands onto the knees and just circle. So lower back loosening involves lots of circles, lots of spinal rotations and spinal waves. And then take these in the other direction. Great. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold forwards, and you're aiming to bring your forehead down to the soles of your feet, if you can. And just rest here for a few moments, really letting the lower body soften, and really letting the exhalations do the work for you. Great, lifting the torso, extend one leg, pull the other knee in, and step this foot on the outside of the other leg. I'm going to take the same arm as the bent leg behind you. Inhale, lift the other arm up. Exhale, take a nice deep twist here, and really use your arm to maneuver yourself deeper around. Look behind you. From here, we're going to go straight into a pose called cow face pose. So bend your lower leg, place it down, and then try and bring your knees on top of one another. So the knees are on top of each other, the legs are just relaxed. Take the hands to heart center, and we'll try and twist this. So lean forward slightly, and then try and take, first of all, the left elbow on the outside of the top knee, and look up towards the ceiling. This is a really deep hip opener and twist here. Come back to center and twist to the other side. Slightly leaning forwards first before you twist. Great. Back to center. Release the legs, take them out in front of you. Just give them a little bit of a shake before we go on to the second side. So this time, draw for me it's my left knee in, and then I'm stepping it to the outside of the right. It might be different for you, I'm not sure. And then we take the same hand as the knee that's bending behind, lift the other arm up, and then use that arm, that shoulder to turn yourself around, looking behind you. Uncurl, and we come into our cow face pose on the other side. So the leg that was extending tucks, and then you might just need to shuffle your pelvis a little bit. This is definitely my tighter side. You want to work those knees on top of each other, but also keep both bum cheeks down on the ground. So you might need to maneuver yourself around. Hands at heart center. We'll start with a twist towards the left. So right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Look behind you. On twist, and then to the other side. Great. Untwist. Extend both legs out in front. We'll do a nice deep forward fold. Inhale. Lift the arms up. Exhale, fold. And again, if it's too much to bring your hands to your feet, take your hands by your hips. Try and pull your shoulders back towards one another. And feel as if you're vibrantly reaching through the crown of your head towards your feet. We'll stay here for a good few breaths. You can reconnect with that Ujjayi breath that we had at the beginning. Just by default, I always do Ujjayi breath when I practice yoga, but that's because the style of yoga that I trained in, you have to do Ujjayi breath the whole way through. So I'm very used to it. But it's really helpful when you're doing the yoga practice to have that deep, long exhalation. Inhale, lift the torso. We'll draw the heels in towards the hips, but this time you can take them close. So this is bound ankle pose. You can hold on to your ankles of your feet, and you want to use your inner thigh muscles to press the hips down at the side. You can do this in little pulses like I am. And feel yourself lengthen again up through the crown of the head, shoulders down. Great, plant the feet onto the floor. We're going to roll down onto our backs for a lot of twisting on the back. So rolling down, extending the arms forward, tucking the tailbone, and then melting the spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae. You're gonna have to shuffle forwards. And then once we're all the way down, arms out to either side, palms down, roll the knees to the left, and just let your head roll to the right. So your head flicks away from your bent knees. Inhale, knees center. Exhale to the other side. So knees right, head to the left. And we'll switch between sides. Knees roll, head rolls. and center, knees roll, the head rolls. One more time each side. Knees roll, head rolls. Back to center, knees roll, head rolls. Back to center, knees in towards the chest. And if you want to make this a core strengthening exercise, keep your arms by your sides and open and close the knees. If you need more support, place your hands onto your knees and help your legs. If you are using this as a core strengthener, work your lower abdominals. And then take the knees in the other direction. Plant the feet down, we'll go into a deeper twist. So arms out to either side again, palms down, cross one leg over the other. And you can either keep that foot loose so you can wrap it around, drop the knees over to the side, look away from your bent knees, press both shoulders down. Back through center, unravel and take the second side. So wrapping the opposite leg over the other, pressing the shoulders down, letting the knees drop and gazing away from your bent knees. Fab, knees to center, and we'll take a happy baby pose. So hips down, either wrapping the elbows around the backs of the knees or holding onto the outsides of the feet. You can take a little sway from side to side. But I really want you to make sure your pelvis, your tailbone, is down underneath you, so you gain length through the lower back. You're not lifting your hips up in the air. And we'll take a good few breaths here. Great, soles of the feet together, rest them down. And you can take one hand on your abdomen and one hand on your heart center. And in this supine butterfly pose, we're going to do a breathing exercise called 3-phase breath. I'm just going to sit up to instruct you. Basically, in this breath, we want to separate the inhale and the exhale into 3. I think I've done this one before, but I'll explain it again. So we take the first part of the inhale and we expand the stomach. Then we continue inhaling and we expand the chest and the ribs. And the last part of the inhale, we expand right up to the collarbones, and then we reverse it. We breathe out of the top of the chest, we breathe out of the ribs, and then we breathe out of the stomach. Inhale stomach, inhale ribs, inhale top of the chest, exhale top of the chest, exhale ribs, exhale stomach. Inhale, expand your stomach, expand your ribs, expand the top of your chest, and reverse. Exhale, top of the chest, exhale ribs, contract, exhale belly. Inhale belly, inhale ribs, inhale top of the chest, exhale top of the chest, exhale ribs, exhale stomach. Continue with 2 more cycles of this breath. And once you've completed 2 more rounds, bring yourself into your full relaxation pose. So with the legs out long, down along the ground, as opposed to being in towards one another. And when you find yourself in your lying down flat, you want to bring your legs slightly apart from each other, just let the feet fall out to the side. And you want to have your arms slightly away from your torso, palms shining up. And closing the eyes. And I'm going to guide you through a meditation that is going to focus on the lower back, focus on relieving any tension from the lower back. As the lower back is really the base, the seat of the torso, so we want it to be stable, but we want it to be open and movable as well. So it's a really important part of the body that so many people find tension. So as you're lying here, just allow your breath to fall into a natural rhythm. You don't have to worry about Ujjayi breath. You don't have to worry about 3-phase breath. Just let the muscles of respiration relax. And then have a sensation of the muscles softening away from the bone. So really heavy bones and really soft muscles. Feel as you're breathing softly here in stillness, feel how your legs and your hips connect into the pelvis and the lower back. Feel these strong muscles of the quads and the hamstrings, just feel them release. And feel the glutes release as well. So oftentimes when we really work the glutes and the legs, the lower back can begin to become very tight. So we want to find ways where we can soften the legs. Now bring your attention round to the front of the hips and sense how the hip flexors connect into the lower abdomen and how the muscle wraps round the body towards the spine. Focus your attention at the base of the spine, the location of the root chakra. The root chakra represented by the color red. Visualize this base glowing a brighter red with each inhalation. And with each inhalation, as this color gets brighter, it's as if all the muscles are just softening and melting. Feel yourself held and supported by the floor underneath your pelvis and your lower back. As you inhale, draw the focus slightly above the base to the lower back, and at the front of the body, it's the location of the lower abdomen. And here is the location of the sacral chakra, represented by the color orange. So with each inhalation, see this orange ball of light on top of the red ball of light, which sits at the base, and the orange as well glows brighter with each inhalation. The sacral chakra is connected to our creative energy, our reproductive system, also our kidneys. Visualize this whole area softening and relaxing with each inhalation. When you are ready, gradually start to deepen these breaths, deepen these inhalations. And gently bring movement into the hands and the feet, starting with the fingers and the toes, and then gradually bringing wrist circles and ankle circles as well. And before we come up to seated, we're actually going to take another twist on our back. So keep your left leg long and pull your right knee into your chest. Squeeze this knee in, squeeze your knee to your nose, and then melt the upper spine down. Take your right arm away from you and drop the right knee over to the left and look towards your extended arm. And hopefully this whole part of the spine should feel really loose and really vibrant now. We'll take a few breaths here. Inhale, center, we'll switch sides. So the right leg goes long, the left knee draws in, squeeze the knee to the nose, find a moment, and then drop the left knee to the right, look away to your left, press both shoulders down into the floor. Inhale, come back to center. Draw both knees into your chest, give yourself a hug and rock yourself a little bit side to side and backwards and forwards, massaging your lower spine. And then roll onto your preferred side, making a little rest with your arm underneath your head. If you haven't opened your eyes, just gently open them now. And then slowly bring yourself up into seated, find a cross-legged seat. And we're going to go into some breath of fire, so some abdominal work to wake ourselves up after the relaxation. So breath of fire, we take a deep breath in, then we do short, sharp exhalations, pulling the stomach in as we exhale and just allowing it to spring out on the inhale. We'll do around, let's say, 40 of these short, sharp breaths. Then we'll inhale, hold the breath, squeeze the abdominal muscles, squeeze the pelvic floor, and then release through the mouth. And we'll do this 3 times. And we'll hold the breath in between for about, we'll hold it for about 10 seconds. You can place your hand on your stomach if it makes it easier. And we're really working the core and the pelvic floor here as well. Deep breath in and pump. Inhale, hold the breath, squeeze your abdominals, squeeze your pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through your mouth. We'll go again. Inhale and pump. Inhale, hold the breath and squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and pump. Breathe in. Hold the breath, squeeze the abdominal muscles, squeeze the pelvic floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Exhale through the mouth. And we'll close with a collective breath and chanting the sound of Om. Inhale, lift your arms up. Find prayer. Exhale, bring the prayer to the center of your forehead for your thoughts and your intentions. Bring the prayer to your lips for your words and your actions. And finally, bring the prayer to your heart center for your inner world of feelings, sensations, and emotions. And we'll do 2 Oms. Inhaling through the nose. And again, inhale. Thank you, guys. How do you feel?
I feel much better.
Great.
It's weird because it's like every time I come in to do this, it always targets just the right part that I needed.
Great.
Yeah, it was really good.
Fabulous. Yeah, I've had a lot of requests to do lower back stuff recently, which is what I get requests from people, and usually they do all kind of center around the same thing. So then I try and whatever people are asking me for, I just try and do that in my classes, because obviously it makes sense, and then I can kind of group my planning together. So yeah, I've had a lot of requests for lower back and shoulders. Actually, shoulders as well has been another one. Maybe because people are more sedentary, I'm not sure. Could be.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I get my most notable tension in my shoulders, so I can feel it, and I'll often, because I'm like on a computer all day, I'll often feel that more, and I think, oh, my lower back's never tense. But then when I do classes like this, I realise how much tension's actually in there.
Yeah. So what can be really helpful, I find, because I'm not, my lower back is all right, but when I do a lot of back bend work, deep back bends, obviously I'll feel sore the next day, and I'll feel all the muscles. I have a massage ball, but it's about, I've got it here actually. It's the size of a tennis ball. And I'm sure a tennis ball, if it's not too soft, if it's like a new tennis ball, I just literally lie and just kind of roll from side to side on it, and that's really, really helpful. I also kind of put it underneath my bum, and I sit on it and I roll around as well. And that actually, yeah, you wouldn't think, but that can help loosen the lower back. So as I was saying, like if the glutes are really tight, if you're doing a lot of glute workouts or like glute workouts, that you want to loosen them to keep your lower back soft. You could use a golf ball. That'll be like, I have actually used a golf ball before. I mean, it's pretty intense because it's like, it'll really target the smaller muscles, but that can be useful. And if either of you have a foam roller as well, I don't know if you have a roller, just rolling up and down on a foam roller can be really helpful, because especially, you know, it's always good to like stretch and find most of your openness through movement, through stretching, but I guess there is always kind of a limit to what we can do. So using tools like balls or rollers can be really helpful. Yeah. Any requests, anything to be worked on that you guys want to work on for next week?
I think shoulders next week sounds good.
Yeah, that's great. That works for me. Are you thinking opening or strengthening or both?
Probably opening, because I'm a bit like Shannon as well. Like I get tension here. Just to kind of like loosen that up would be.
Yeah, that's great. I can do that, and then we can work on like throat chakra and higher chakras as well. Cool. Have you guys got anything planned for the day?
No, I'm going to go for a walk in a bit, and then I might get Chinese later.
Oh, exciting.
Yes.
I can't believe it. We haven't gotten a takeaway once through this whole thing, and we were literally just saying it before, like, how have we not gotten a takeaway? So my mum and my sister are on the lookout to find some. I think they want to get like vegan burgers, I think is what they're looking for. So.
Nice.
What about you, Rochelle?
I don't know. I don't have anything specific. I might just sit in the garden.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Well, as always, if you do have if anything pops into your head that you want to work on, just send me a message. And even if we don't work on it in class, I'm happy to like just send people like little videos and like helpful tips and stuff like that. Cool. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Enjoy the sunshine.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.